Hey everybody, how you all doing? I hope you're safe and healthy. Today we're gonna do a short little virtual tour of New York City. Through this video, I want to show you which are the must-see places of New York City. Now, New York City is huge. You cannot possibly travel the entire length and breadth of the place in a couple of days or even try to convey the massive scale of the place in a video like this. But I'm gonna do my best, so stay with me here. New York City is undoubtedly the heart and lifeblood of America. What is it that makes it so endearing to the hearts of many across the globe? Let's find out. So the first place we are heading to is literally the birthplace of modern America. Ellis Island is where some of the earliest immigrants came to legally become a part of the North American continent. You can find answers to a lot of fundamental questions in the museum out there. You can also find out where your ancestors are from. For the most part, that is. After the immigrants were legalized, they traveled to various parts of the country through the trains in this station. You can visit Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty on a single cruise. If you book well in advance, that is like maybe around 6 months in advance, you can climb all the way up to the crown of the Statue of Liberty and enjoy the Manhattan skyline from up there. Another thing you can revel in when you're in New York City is the crowds. These are probably the most crowded streets anywhere in America. But when you're walking through buildings that are sky high and so beautiful, you kind of don't really mind the crowds. Some of the first skyscrapers in the world were built in New York City. And that's something really worth seeing. If my inner poet had not come out yet, Central Park's gondoliers serenading people across the lake definitely brought it out. What makes Central Park so interesting is that it occupies around 840 acres of prime grassland right in the middle of a metropolitan city like New York. And in that space, they have everything starting from a zoo to a castle to sculptures to an ice rink to even a museum. If you're coming here, don't forget to wear a really comfortable set of shoes because you gotta just walk and walk and walk to see the best parts of the park. This was also where I saw some of the most talented people of New York City. Of course, New York isn't New York if you haven't seen any of their shows on Broadway. Make sure to get tickets on the weekdays so you get a better rate, and also see if you get lucky enough to watch one of the live news recordings in the studio. The 9/11 memorial brought chills to my spine. A hole in the ground and in the hearts of many. The 9/11 Museum also has pieces of the World Trade Center that they could still salvage. It's definitely worth visiting even though you have to wait in line and reserve tickets well in advance. Talking of memorials, just across the river is the Jersey City Empty Sky 9/11 Memorial. Though technically this is in New Jersey, it's worth visiting because it has some awesome views of the New York skyline. A visit to New York City is incomplete if you've not tried some of their most famous foods. One thing high on my list of the best foods in New York City is the New York pizza. Other must-try foods of New York City include the New York dog, the chicken over rice, and the New York cheesecake. Now I know there are many more foods that are native to New York and that taste so good, so please comment below which are your favorite New York City foods. The World Trade Center Metro Station is another must-see place in New York City. It's symbolically built in the form of a bird taking off, completely intact with its wings and ribs and everything. And while you're here, don't forget to ride New York's ancient subway. While the best way to see New York is by foot, the second is by subway, and the third is from water, that is, by a water cruise, particularly at night when you get views like this. You know those scenes in all these movies where the hero and heroine part ways and then magically get reunited somewhere? That place is usually the Grand Central Station in New York City. This station is grand in every way, starting with their ornate lights to those beautiful constellations painted on the ceiling. The Grand Central Station also has a lot of secrets. Like, did you know that there are a set of columns in here where sound travels naturally to its two ends? That kind of makes it an ancient telephone, right? Well, I'm not going to tell you where it is, that's yours to find out. If there's one place in New York City that you just cannot miss visiting, it's Times Square. Now, the rhythm of this place goes through all night. It's literally a 24-hour junction. It's also where you'll meet interesting characters like this. Times Square has long been the world's most expensive advertising space. And if you're there, you'll rightly know why it's so. The Madame Tussauds Wax Museum is another option to visit if you're in the Times Square area. It's very touristy, I know, but then I think it's the closest that I'll ever get to these celebrities. Your tour of New York City is incomplete if you have not seen the Bull. The Bull is in the financial district, that is in Lower Manhattan. While there, check out the New York Stock Exchange, one of the world's largest stock exchanges by means of market capitalization. Now I know that there are so many other places that you can see in New York, but if you have just a couple of days, then these are the places that I suggest you seeing. Hope this video will help you plan your New York trips much better. And if you enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Traveler and Trots.